Hello everybody, today we're gonna just basically break down all of Expo City and explain why it's one of the best locations to look into investing at the moment. This image right here is just Expo City broken into its 5 locations. This is the master plan. We're gonna dissect all of it and tell you about all the important things that are happening there. But when looking to invest, it's always good to look at what the government's saying in Dubai, especially. A lot of things that the government do don't really go wrong, so it lessens risk a lot. So this is an image from the 2040 Urban Master Plan of Dubai. It basically separates Dubai into 5 segments, all of which have an urban centre. So you can see they're all mentioned here, the 5 urban centres. Deira being the one for heritage, which is located here. The global financial hub, which is Business Bay and downtown over here. Then we've got the tourism section, which is basically marina over there. Then we've got the knowledge and innovation area, where Silicon Oasis is basically the main urban center. But obviously we're going to mainly look into Expo City. Expo City is going to be the main urban center of Dubai South. It's going to be located right here. It's a very strategic location because of its proximity to what's going to be the biggest airport in the world, which is going to be located here. The flight path won't affect what's happening in Expo City, so you won't be hearing planes or anything. When you look at it, you can see that it's very strategically located to areas like here, which is Jebel Ali Port, which is in the top 5 most important ports in the world for logistics. It's also next to what's going to be the new Palm, Jebel Ali, and it's still not too far away from the current Palm as well. And when we go to the actual master plan of it, I'll explain this a bit. A lot of this is already constructed because of the event, which was Expo 2020, which happened a few years after that because of COVID. This is the biggest interactive dome in the world. Over here is Dubai's exhibition center. Connected to it is the metro, which is already existing. Over here it's going to connect to what's going to be the biggest airport in the world, so in terms of location it's fantastic. This metro also connects to what's going to be a mall over here, where that exterior is already constructed. They're just working on the interior now, and that'll be ready, I think, in the middle of 2027. It's worth noting this is going to be made by Emaar, but this is not a master development by Emaar. So the master developer is Expo City itself. It's overseen by Ahmed bin Saeed, who is the CEO of Emirates, CEO of World Trade Center, CEO of Dubai Holdings. If you know Dubai Holdings, they own Maras, they own Nakheel, and a bunch of other government entities. Speaking of Dubai World Trade Center, the World Trade Center is located around here right now. They're going to cease operations there and move all of its operations to Expo City once the exhibition center is fully expanded. When it expands, it's going to be the biggest exhibition center in the MENA region and do around 600 events a year. So yeah, for short-term leasing, it's great potential. The 600 events, one of which is Gulf Food, which is going to happen at the end of January. If you look at the prices of Rove Hotel, 3-star hotel, at the time of the event, this is one night, it's almost 3,000 dirhams. That's a lot for a night, okay? And a good comparable would be, maybe the Palm Atlantis. If we look at the Palm Atlantis on the same night, it's doing around over 1,000 dirhams less. So yeah, imagine that times by 600. Obviously you want to be conservative if you want to like Airbnb something, for example, or yeah. But back to the master plan. Yeah, like I said, the Dubai World Trade Center is going to bring all its operations here once this is expanded. This area here is called Expo Village, which already exists and is all owned by Dubai World Trade Center. You can't buy any of these, they're only rentable. I mentioned that Emaar is making the mall here. This is the first time that Emaar has made a mall outside of their own master community. When we talk about master communities, we're mentioning places like downtown or Dubai Hills, where Dubai has control of all the, where Emaar has control of all the infrastructure. So it's worth noting that this is the first time that they've decided to make something outside of their own master community. They've got a project here called Terra Gardens. They've also got a project here called Terra Heights. I prefer Terra Gardens because of its proximity to the mall via the metro and the exhibition center compared to Terra Heights. I mean, they might make something here, they might make something there, we don't quite know yet. The The rest of the developments are made by Expo City in particular. They've made, the first thing handing over will be this area here. This is called Mangrove Residences. It's going to hand over by the end of 2026. Starting prices for a one-bedroom off-plan were about 1.2 million. Now you probably won't find a one-bed for less than 2 million. So, you know, that gives you a good idea for capital appreciation. Over here will be the next residences to hand over. This is called Sky Residences. Off-plan they started at 1.4 million. And then we've got Cedar Residences over here, these 3 towers. It's the last main residential of the center of Expo. 1.8 million you were looking at for a one-bedroom starting off plan. Over here was Al Waha, which were very unique buildings. They were very low-rise buildings, which they sold. All of it sold out. Again, amazing due to its proximity to the exhibition center. The exhibition center itself is basically the cash cow here. You know, you're more than welcome of buying into any community. It's just not every community has the biggest exhibition center in the MENA region. Rove Hotel and Cheval Maison are the 2 hotels there currently. Aldar may be making a hotel and some commercial properties here. So yeah, it's worth noting that, you know, it's a combined venture of Expo City, the World Trade Center, Aldar and Emaar. You know, it's unheard of. Over here they're going to be making like hospitals and well, a hospital at least, school, and an amphitheater that's going to be, it's going to have enough space to basically have more than double what the Coca-Cola Arena is currently doing. When we go to this area, which I've sectioned off, this is an area called Expo Valley. It's more so the residential area. Over here are called the Maha Villas, Maha Mansions. They're about 30 million dirhams right now. The ones over here are called Yasmina Villas. And then the ones over here are called Shamsa Townhouses. All of that is sold out. These buildings are currently being sold. They're called Expo Valley Views. Personally, I think the Emaar project's better due to its proximity to the cash cow, aka the exhibition center. This one's quite the distance. I mean, it'll definitely rent out, but I think better is the Emaar ones over here. If we're talking prices for Emaar, 1.55, that was starting price for the one beds over here. When Terra Heights first released, it was 1.4. So about a year later, they released Terra Gardens, and it went up by 150,000. Over here are going to be some townhouses, which will launch at least by the end of this year, I believe. Over here is going to be a nature reserve, and over here is going to be a forest. Most of this area, this circle, is already built, including this. This is solar panel. Over here there'll be more buildings, you know, throughout the years. This place isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's there's a lot happening. And Expo City, it's separated into 5 districts. You got Expo Fields, Expo Downtown, Expo Business, Expo Hills, and Expo Valley, which I just mentioned before. Expo Business is an important location to look at because there's going to be a bunch of Fortune 500 companies. These are some of them. You can pause to read them all if you want. They're all going to be moving. Some already have moved, such as DP World. Emirates will be moving, Siemens Energy. The one with DP World is very good as well because, like I said before, you know, Jebel Ali Port is just over here in the top 5 of most important and busy ports in the world. Logistics company DP World, it just works very well. So yeah, look at the proximity of that, not bad. So that's moved, and then when we go to Expo Business, which will be in this sort of area here, they say that there's going to be about 40,000 professionals working in these companies that are moving here. So there's going to be at least 40,000 white-collar workers. Estimated 75,000 people living in all of Expo City, yet there's only going to be about 9,000 units. So in terms of supply and demand, it's very scarce. And you know, that's not even including the millions of people that will come on a yearly basis to see at least one of the 600 events. Outside of the events in the exhibition center, the amphitheater, which I mentioned, that's where they'll be doing concerts and stuff. So you know, there's lots of potential. It's a lot like Wembley in London, it's a lot like XL in London, but on a different level. So yeah, 600 events, it's a lot. If you see, you know, the state of one event where they're charging 3,000 dirhams a night in a hotel, so you know, times that by 600 to get a wonderful amount. But obviously you want to be pessimistic and conservative to get a good idea of what you'll be making. But yeah, if you're interested in knowing what's upcoming, what's currently available, what sort of payment plans they're offering, feel free to reach out.